a different location than normal, as you can see behind me. I am on duty here, but I thought I would read the card from up here. So the card we pulled is this one. I literally pulled, but I'm surrounded by cats, whilst we're keeping an eye on my other one that gets used to the other cats, so she feels safe. I'm here. So the sweetness of, leave her be, she doesn't want to play. The sweetness of quiet love. I thought I would then read you this, and it reminds me of this, the quiet love, meaning patience. In a way, sometimes we have to wait and allow things to develop. Love is unconditional and fluid in its energy and frequency of love, how it flows unconditionally in that way. So I'm going to read you what she says for this card. So this is a quick reading, and hopefully if you can hear me over the croakiness wall, we got number 40. Let's look up. So if you've got the book, I know I'm not an affiliate, but I like this. This is the Chinese 5 elements that I use. It's number 40. I just have to keep the cats from their curiosity as well at the same time. As one of the 4 special pillars and divine support, the water rabbit appears as a sign that your spiritual team is here to support you with love and guidance every step of the way. Listen to their wisdom, represented by yin water in the heavenly frequency. The gentle, agreeable rabbit, a pure yin wood sign associated with nature in bloom, is the diplomat of the Chinese zodiac, as I sit in diplomatic between the one that's hiding under here and the others that are getting to know her. And she's tentatively coming out, so I'm seeing this in my own life, as you can see, as I'm demonstrating. So bringing people to all kinds of backgrounds together to collaborate and contribute their best. Her strength lies in her readiness to bend and yield, to adapt to life's circumstances. Your guides are more than ready to help you attain everlasting love that will take you to the new phase of your life. Open yourself to that love by simply being your most authentic self and accepting your loved ones as they are. Discover your unique gifts and explore what inspires you to be your best self, and encourage your loved ones to do the same for themselves. Give yourself the space and the creativity to thrive and flourish without losing yourself to another. So this is reminding me to share about how lots of us, when we talk about love, we think of love for boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, partners. But when we love unconditionally, this is beyond that. This is loving someone regardless of them. And that starts with how we love ourselves, loving ourselves regardless of our faults, not being blind to our faults, mind. So from seeing things from higher perspective and seeing through the eyes of source, we love regardless of those things. So we see the shadows in ourselves, and we love that part of ourselves too. And therefore we can also then see all aspects of someone and know in that true authentic sort of love, in the fact that we don't just love that person for the way they look or even for their actions, although they may be things that trigger our admiration for a loved one. It's loving them in the wholeness of themselves. So when we can love ourselves without judgment, we can love others without judgment, regardless of what their thoughts, beliefs, anything, whether they clash or not, whether you agree or not. So your guides are more than ready to help you obtain everlasting love that will take you to a new phase of your life. This is the new phase of humanity. We are moving beyond polarity. And in order to move beyond polarity, we need to understand and accept ourselves in wholeness of who we are, regardless. And unfortunately, the mammal in us wants to identify, wants to separate, wants to go, right, that's black, that's white. And life is grey. A mix, a multitude of greys. Or okay, that person's got that skin color, that person's got that skin color, or that person was from that. Where it comes from is where it's that tribe, this tribe, and that kind of needing to protect and keep safe. Now that is from the reptilian part of the brain. That's the evolutionary thing that we're moving out of. But in some people, they've not quite evolved. That part of the brain is still active and brings up fear of the unknown. And when there's fear of and lack of acceptance, this is when you get this duality happening. So by being authentic and accepting your loved ones as they are, discovering your unique gifts and exploring what inspires you to be your best self, by demonstrating being your best person, being who you are, being in the highest, compassionate and kind to yourself, you also demonstrate it to others. If you forgive yourself, for example, here's a good example. I was speaking to my members, and I'm so grateful for my members. And as it's Thursday, it's to say thank you Thursday. Shout out to you all for your love and your support. Now, they don't give humongous amounts of money. I don't earn loads, but that it's more the fact that they're there to bear witness to my I've been there to bear witness to all my training throughout the last couple of years. While I was doing a lot voluntarily, I was still loving the fact that they were there to listen, to give me things to teach, to contrast, questions in order to answer. So that allowed me then to sort of, when I was struggling to show up, if I had gone through an emotional time like I've just been through, and I felt my physical body react to the emotional body in clearing and purging through the super new moon personally. So I haven't been doing my lives, which would have benefited me physically and them. But knowing that I needed to have that sweet love for me, the sweetness of quiet love from friends and family, to giving that, to just being there, to just sending a text. So this is about those times when you want to go, I'm here, I love you, sending love and healing, sending love and light, just here if you want to speak, here if you want to talk, and just supportive nature of, regardless of what that might mean to that person. Okay, that not here, I'm not there at 6:30 and I haven't been for the last 2-3 weeks now, but to inspire others that actually that's okay. It's not like I haven't got a library that they can't do the classes. There is for the members. In fact, there's over 200 videos now of Meditation Monday, which is something I do voluntarily, and the healing classes and sessions that are there to help as many people as possible. But to give yourself space and the creativity to thrive and flourish without losing yourself to another is being in your own skin, being in your own boundaries, not losing yourself. When you give yourself in a relationship, sometimes that takes over. You lose your identity. The mothers out there can relate, and I think that this is a kind of a reminder now that that's coming through for those that are new mums, and when they've got this small children, you become the mum. I mean, for anyone that's been at the school gate, you're so and so's mum. You become so and so's mum. I want random names, or whatever. Then rather than who you are. So it's important in those moments to remember who you are, to have your identity. As much as I love that nurturing and being a mum, as part of who I am. It becomes part of you, but not the sole part of you. So this card highlights that, and the quiet power of love as a force for divine feminine, that nurturing side. The yin attracts love by becoming that love instead of pushing and competing against the flow. So when we push against, when we manically manifest something we want in our life, when we're, this is a reminder of that. The energy of this month, if you remember, if you refer back to the video for the whole of this month, it was about being in flow, and if it wasn't flowing, then not trying to force it, to just going with that flow. It's like trying to energetically hold back a dam. What will happen is you'll get a pushback in the resistance when you're not going with the natural flow of what is being shown to us in the world energetically, in our own micro, and so too in the macro. So you need to the yin, manifest and pause positive energy by simply allowing and surrendering to the flow. Relax into the quiet, and you may realize that you're already surrounded by love. Realize how much love you have in your life. Appreciate those that love you and that support you. And the heavenly message with this card is your guidance is are easier to connect with than your mind. Your it's a clear as water, as calm lakes. Recognize the presence of divine assistance, which can come through feelings, sounds, and visions. So I was seeing a dream last night, and like dream interpretation is hard to interpret. It's about seeing things walk away from my life from past, and a reminder of where things have shifted and changed, and how my new little, as I said, little baby, fairy baby behind me, just being present, so she feels safe, she feels calm, without forcing the issue. Although I wouldn't be this close, just knowing that I can be here, that she knows I can be here. I don't have to force energy on her while she's getting used to the others. They don't have to force themselves, and not allowing them to push things, and just being in the room, just like I'm here. She can hear my voice while I'm doing my what is essentially my work. So where in your life can you just be present? Can your energies, by being and not pushing against the flow, but just going with the flow, allow things to shift for you? And then the earth message here with the rabbits is awakening the muse within, expressing yourself creatively, and discovering the many colours of love. The frequency, the colour of love, to me, is pointing out how we've got these different colour frequencies coming in. This really lovely deep blue, they're like aqua, very much like my what do you call it here, lapis, deep blue. And then there's like a turquoisey blue, like the topaz that I've got the end here at the top here, coming in. There's these gold and silver lights, but what that color represents in its frequency is a collective energy of what some might call angelic messages or beings. Others would just call it frequency, sound and light, an energy in itself. But what it is a coding, like a rainbow bridge, if you like, and a bridge to what may be referred to as a heavenly energy. But when we are in balance of all of this, to me, that's represented by what I call love language, the language of light and sound and coding, and feeling it around you. So here's a little visualization for you, a little image therapy if you like. If you close your eyes and imagine the colours of the rainbow, like your chakras, you can see it as a chakra cleansing if you like for the basic 7 chakras. But I'd like you to think of the fullness of all the levels that we think of. When we reference the chakras, they are the very basic. The levels go up to 15, and whether you call them dimensions or layers or different, I think of them as more as frequency. I suppose dimensions is probably the closest in words to what I'm shown, but it is more than that. That's kind of like saying the alphabet is just ABC. If you like, it's like the 7 chakras are like just the ABCs. They're the basics, the very basics. So it goes up in these layers. So visualizing rainbows through different layers around you, like you see a rainbow, it's got these different layers. See that around you in like a bubble, and look to see if there's anything that's not flowing. Feel like there's this beautiful rainbow colours filtering around you, flowing around you, moving. It's not still, it's kind of rotating, spinning and shifting like a whirlwind. Anything that's kind of stopping the flow of that almost makes me feel lightheaded. Allowing it to come down through the top of the head. And when you see all of the colours together, what do we get? We all know, white, pure white. So allowing that white light, when we say white light, we actually mean all the rainbow colours. And those, some of those colours right now are more predominant than the others. So some are showing up more. Some of those frequencies are coming through in a stronger and having a stronger effect on each of us in different ways. So feeling, watching, observing, and just breathing. And if there's anywhere in your life you feel there's not flow and you've got resistance, I want you to, like, any of you from the 80s would know what I'm on about. They do the Care Bear stare and they shout out their rainbow love would come from their heart. Imagine that that's what you're doing, and you're sending that out into the areas of your life, not forcing it, but just allowing that love to just, sweet love to go out. But more importantly, allowing it in, because we put these barriers up and resistance up when we are not surrendering. So open and receptive. You can even put your hands aloft, open and receptive to the highest good of the soul's evolution. I like to add in for humanity, but feeling it flowing through every part of you. Beautiful flowers. And I'm always seeing like image of Thumper now, and you know how he would, if you've seen Thumper in Bambi, and he would bang his foot. And I want you to take your hand and just tap the heart, like Bambi bumping his foot and shaking off, feeling through the cells. So you're like tapping that colour in, almost like when you've got a cake and you're tapping out the air bubbles before you put it in the oven. Same thing to the cells. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. And then if you can, come down to the floor. If you can't, just, you can do the knees. I want you to just tap the floor gently. So we're grounding in this lovely, beautiful rainbow energy. Reminds me of rainbows and unicorns in this room, that's for sure. It's got that energy in my daughter's room. And breathe, hands on the floor if you can, or either side, either knee. If you're sitting, standing, just feeling or visualizing, rooting down, grounding down through to earth, and bring to mind anything that reminds you of nature, trees, streams, meadows. Grounding in sacred union with nature, connecting to through your heart to the earth, to Gaia, to that which is the 3D in its highest form. And then take the hands up, rub them together, and we're going to sweep them up from the chin. As if we're washing water droplets out in the shower, over the head and down. How do you feel? So today's message was sweetness of quiet love, and the guidance that come through was the colours of the rainbow, seeing that sweet, patient love in your life, letting go and surrendering to the patience, not forcing the flow, allowing divine flow in. And if you look at this, also think of the flowering. Where things are flowering reminds you of nature, and how nature, you can't plant a seed and go, right, that's it, flower. You have to water it, you have to put it in the sun, making sure, talk to it with love and sweetness maybe, make sure it's got the right soil for its growth. That's the message from loved ones today. That's the message from those that have passed as well, that was coming through, and what seems to be coming through really strongly in the cards from yesterday, in the message that was in the lead up to solstice, is astral love. And in an extension of that is that these messages are coming through from our soul family, from those that are no longer in this now moment, that are in non-physical loved ones past, message to that they are on the rainbow bridge, that they've gone through the rainbow bridge, if you like. They're through this energetical layers, whatever you choose to call them, regarding your own belief system around that, is down an individual choice. But the message here is patience. Patience with yourself. Sweet, quiet love is coming your way. Thank you for your time. My love and blessings to you and to my fairy baby, who now the others are like, okay, yeah, that's fine. They've lost interest. She can feel that sweet love that we're sending her to. Have a beautiful day. And thank you.